Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel that takes you deep inside the San Francisco 49ers. I am 49ers beat writer Jack Hammer. Today, I just wanted to have an honest discussion with you regarding 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. There's been a lot of discussion around him, as there should be. As a rookie last season, Purdy led the 49ers to 8 straight wins before suffering a torn UCL in his throwing elbow during the NFC Championship game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Purdy underwent an internal brace procedure on that throwing elbow to repair the UCL in early March, and that procedure generally takes about a 6-month recovery period. Well, the discussion around Purdy has been about his possible return for week 1. And really what we're seeing is there's a number of folks who believe that Purdy needs to take his time. There's no reason to rush it back. Week 1, if he misses it, it's no big deal. The 49ers have other quarterbacks that they could take a look at, primarily Trey Lance. And I'll say this, I do agree with the folks that bring this up because the health of the players is the primary concern. Where this discussion gets interesting, though, is when you start to look at UCL injuries in quarterbacks, because there haven't been very many. And typically, the quarterbacks who have undergone these procedures have come back ahead of schedule. Now, a full-blown Tommy John surgery is usually supposed to take you about 12 months. An internal brace procedure, that time frame is supposed to be 6 months. Well, you start to look at the quarterbacks who have undergone these procedures. Jake Delhomme back in 2007, 2008 had the full-blown Tommy John surgery. He was cleared to return to practice 7 months later, led the Carolina Panthers to the playoffs, a 12-4 record upon his return. Nick Mullins, who was the backup quarterback for the 49ers at the time of his injury, well, he was able to get cleared 5 months later, and he's gone back on into becoming a backup quarterback in the NFL. So where does that leave us with Brock Purdy? Well, you start to look at it, and that 6-month time period would put him back around the 25th of August, which is still 2 weeks prior to week 1. So even if you run the full thing out until the full 6 months is up, Brock Purdy would be ready to go and cleared 2 weeks prior to the start of the regular season. Now, you start to look at the other two quarterbacks and you realize that the likelihood of him coming back sooner is realistic. And he's going to be starting to throw this week, and we'll see how this moves from here. You can't ever know exactly what's happening with inside of someone's body. As Kyle Shanahan said, it's up to God. And we'll find out what happens. But here's the thing with Brock Purdy. If he's ready to play, if he's cleared, and he wants to go, and he's physically capable of playing and playing at the level that he's capable of, he should be playing. The 49ers shouldn't hold him back. They shouldn't make him sit out just because they have other players that they could possibly put in his place. Purdy is a competitor. He played at a very high level for the 49ers over the 8 weeks that he did start. If he's ready to go, let him play. I always point back to Joe Montana on this one. For those of you who might have been around a little bit older like myself, or if you weren't, you might have heard how Joe Montana had a very bad back injury. Well, back in 1986, he suffered a back injury in week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It required surgery. Montana's career was in jeopardy. Underwent that back surgery. Not only was he back on the field in 1986, he was back on the field just 56 days later. And in that return, threw 3 touchdown passes for the 49ers and a win over the Cardinals. So when it comes to Brock Purdy's return, if he's ready to go and he's cleared and he's fully healthy, let him go. There's no reason to hold him out beyond that. The other question, and this is a little bit different, is regarding Brock Purdy being a franchise quarterback. And my answer to this, or my question is this, is why are we really having the discussion about Brock Purdy being a franchise quarterback at this point? Because we don't know. Brock Purdy has played 8 games in the NFL. Check that. He's made 8 starts in the NFL. We don't know exactly what he's going to be or who he's going to become. All we know about Brock Purdy is that he played very well when he was on the field. And the other thing that we know is you start to look at Brock Purdy's contract, and Brock Purdy's under contract for the 49ers for 3 more years. Even if he wins the Super Bowl the next 2 years, he's still going to be at the same rate. It's not going to be until that final year of his contract that the 49ers might have to renegotiate that deal. You look at where Purdy is this year and next year, in the next 2 seasons, Brock Purdy will cost the 49ers, against the salary cap, less than $2 million combined. That's a steal for a quarterback that allows you to build out the rest of your roster with extremely highly talented players, something that the 49ers roster already has. So, is Brock Purdy a franchise quarterback? I don't know. Can he be a franchise quarterback? We're going to find out if he's healthy, and he's going to tell you based off of his play. All of the discussions and the pointing to different things don't give us the answer. The only answer we're going to get is once Purdy gets back onto the field, and once he plays, and once he's able to show what he can do. Does he have limitations regarding his arm, regarding his height, regarding how heavy he is? Well, the size, he can't fix that. His height, he can't fix that. His arm, that can always improve a little bit. All I'm going to point to is the success that he's had on the field to this point in the NFL. Brock Purdy, when you look at the percentage of throws that he has in terms of areas of the field, on throws over 10 yards down the field, Brock Purdy's number in that area is about 34%. That means he's right around the league average with some of the top quarterbacks. Guys like Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, the other 3 quarterbacks that were in the championship game in the 2023 championship for the NFL, all right around that same range, right in that 33 to 34% on balls that traveled beyond 10 yards. On throws that were in between 10 to 20 yards, Brock Purdy actually averaged the deepest target. So that's really where the 49ers work the most. They go over the top every once in a while, but those plays are usually built-in shot plays that the ball's able to come out on time off of play action and those types of things. And we've seen Purdy beat man coverage with blitzes and things like that. Just turn on the film of the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Turn on the game against the Miami Dolphins, his first major action where he's able to beat the blitz over and over again. Brock Purdy in 2023 showed that he could be a very high-level NFL quarterback. But before we say that he is a franchise quarterback, we need to see more of it. And based on everything we've heard and the fact that he is going to begin throwing this week, based off of it all, I would say that there's a possibility we're going to see Brock Purdy on the field during training camp, probably somewhere around mid-August. And we're going to find out whether or not Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback. So there you have it. Take it for what it's worth. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys can do me a favor, hit that like button. And then if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the updates as they come out. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Take care, everybody, and we'll be talking with you soon.